Welcome to On the Chain. This is Chip. Jeff is away today, but sitting in, guest hosting for Jeff tonight, we have none other than Alex. You know him better as at Coining203 on Twitter. What's up, Alex?
What's going on? How's everybody doing tonight?
Yeah, we'll get into where you are and what is actually behind you. Tonight, we're going to talk big interview today. Charles Gasperino interviewed Brad Garlinghouse. It was a great interview. We're going to recap it a little bit. We're going to go into it. Garlinghouse is asking all the right questions. Why is the SEC picking winners and losers? That's something we've all sort of wondered. Also, too, we'll jump into a lot of other stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on, some IMF stuff, SEC. It's all over the map today. But we know one thing and one thing only. We're getting ready to get this puppy started. You ready, Alex?
Yeah, yes, sir. Let's go.
Come on, man. That's not a let's go. We got to be like, come on, let's go. Let's go. Come on.
Let's go. Let's
Welcome to On the Chain.
Welcome to On the Chain. That's right. We're chopping your head off again. We got to get that up in line, guys. And I always like to know, where are you coming in from? The city and the country. Drop it. If you're watching on the rewatch, drop it in the comments. And we're gonna get into this puppy. Spent too much money on Black Betty. Black Betty better, you said, but Black Betty. Yeah, Black Betty's right behind you there.
Yeah, Black Betty's right there. So that's
Black Betty, there she is, right there. He's not only on the show, but he's also in the chat. He's everywhere. And we have everybody piling in here. And everybody piling in here tonight. But we're going to talk about a bunch of things, Alex. We're going to uncover some stuff tonight. You know, Garlinghouse was kind of weird. You think Fox Business would have this amazing, like, come in here, everybody, and just grab the video clip. And it was hard to find. And usually I rely on you, because usually you're the guy that always has the clip. And I was like, Alex, you got it today? You're like, oh, man, no, I've been working on Black Betty all day.
That's what I've been doing today. That's exactly why I don't have the video up. And I apologize to you guys.
Is that a flat black right there on there?
Yeah, it's flat,
oh,
flat black. I just got in some parts today and I put them on today. So that's why I wasn't.
Look at this. We got Brisbane over here. We got Bamalam. Oh, Black Betty, Bamalam. Right? We got that on there. Cape Canaveral right up the street over there. SoCal coming in the house tonight. Louisiana. It's really good. We got James XRP Rule. He's from Texas. So that's awesome to see everybody piling in here. Good to see everybody tonight. So let's talk a little bit about this SEC case, right? It's starting to get, I don't know, slightly stupid. I don't know what you want to call it, but your thoughts on just kind of how it's going so far. I mean, there was some more stuff that dropped today, which we can also get into. What's your thoughts so far on this SEC case?
The show, this movie we're watching is amazing.
It's awesome, right?
It's an amazing, it's plot twist and cutscenes, and hey, we're going to this now. It's amazing.
Ups and downs, some heads rolling. Where are the explosions? I want explosions. I want car chases. I want some James Bond moments. You know what I mean?
I think end of the year we're gonna see. I don't know if they're gonna let it go for a whole year, and it's like, you ruined Christmas once, you're gonna ruin Christmas again. So I think we should see fireworks next couple weeks.
There you go. Look at this right here, right from my hometown. There's Chris Prosky. They're in the same town, man. I like that. We got the Gold Coast in here. We got Canberra, Australia. There's a lot of Aussies that watch this show. Berserkers in here. Look at that. Jeff grew a nice beard. That looks pretty good. Jeff grew a nice little beard, man.
It's a couple years worth of trying to get this.
You see that, man? That's kind of how it is for me too, man. It doesn't really grow in too well, and that's kind of how it goes. But we have Puerto Rico in the house. That's pretty good. Love to see that. And then boom, Alex look at this, dude. James Rule, who's giving that little shout out right there. You know what that is? With his XRP. That's what that's all about. That's no security, man.
He did that with the security. That's
hell
awesome.
No, man. Let's get the show started with some XRP. Thank you for that, James.
Thanks,
always very kind to the show. But let's pull up a little bit. So this is the best what we could do. And I have to thank at Tim R614. He just goes by Tim. He's a Jets fan, and I'll cut him a break on that. But anyway, he did post the video, and if you guys have a better copy of it, you'll let me know. But I want to put this up. Let's watch both parts of that. They're kind of small, choppy, but thanks to Tim. He's the only guy out there And Alex was supposed to do it, but he was just busy doing other stuff today. That's why he didn't get to it. And that's understandable. You look, if you're working on Black Betty, I get it, man.
Hey, real quick before you start that, I got to shout out Eric Hall. He's a buddy of mine down your way. Salute, brother.
Where is Eric? Then we got Notorious in the house. Notorious. Who we shouting out? I want to pull him up here, see if he's in there.
He texted me.
All right, that's good.
Eric
all right, big shout out to him. Shout out to him. Let's pull up the first part of this video file. We're going to go through it. We're going to kind of like workshop it a little bit, but let's go through the first part. Again, this is Charlie Gasperino. You guys might have to turn the audio up. The audio is not that great. Let's see if we can at least see how it looks here.
Hill's joining us now. You brat, you got the great assignment there.
Well, it's yeah, and I actually managed to stalk Brad.
How is that? It's kind of low, right?
Yeah, I got AirPods on, so I can hear it. What does the chat say?
I can hear it too, but I just wanted to let you guys know. Sorry, you might have to turn it up a little bit. We'll play it through, then we'll kind of come in so we don't blow your ears out. But let's listen in. Well, let's watch the whole thing. It's very short, but let's hear what Charlie has to say about his interview with Brad.
Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple. As you know, Ripple's in the news a lot. We've been reporting a lot about the case over XRP with the SEC that wants to essentially put Ripple out of business here in the U.S. I asked Brad a couple things. I asked about regulation. Where do you think it's heading in the U.S.? But then I also asked him about our reporting on Claim and Countdown about these meetings, never been disclosed before, between former SEC Chair Jay Clayton, then MIT professor and current SEC Chair Gary Gensler. These meetings occurred right before the Ripple suit was filed. Gensler was anti-Ripple at the time. I asked Brad about this, and here's what he had to say.
I believe very strongly that we will get to a good place here. I think it's clear that on Capitol Hill, they're paying more attention to this, frankly, partly because of your reporting. And I think that also is good for the whole industry. If we get into something, Gensler has also called out, hey, we need more clarity by saying they need legislation, but he's saying it's clear there's a contradiction there. I think it looks like Capitol Hill is kind of leaning in a little bit now, which is, I think,
oh, really? So you think there's going to be some movement to maybe set an Uber regulator as opposed to this sort of mishmash of regulation?
Or just to write clarifying laws.
Oh, interesting.
You know, I think you're seeing more senators, more representatives understand that this is a real issue. They're hearing from their constituents this is a real issue. You know, the effort for XRP holders against the SEC now is apparently 45,000 people here in the United States.
The lawyer told me that. 45 and growing.
That is not a small number.
No.
And so when those people start calling their representatives, start calling their senators, they pay attention.
You kind of ducked my question, though. Are you a little concerned about those meetings?
Look, optics matter, right? And so do I think some of the optics are a little bit, that's interesting. You know, it's kind of ironic because the SEC obviously...
It ends right there. Again, I didn't end this, and I'm sorry, guys. Apologize for the audio, but again, this is the best we had. I went in and asked everybody that I knew, even James Rule, who always knows everything, what's going on, and he said, "Yeah, the Jets guy has it." I go, "I know, I have that," but it's like. So, what are your initial thoughts on what he was talking about, especially when it talks about the SEC and then the XRP holders?
So, I want to put emphasis on something that Brad said, and he said. Once the 45,000 plus people, and I know some of them are overseas, and this may not apply to them, but reaching out to the representatives, right, the congressmen, the senators from your districts is important. We have to let our voices be heard, and we have to do that. It's not just tweeting and writing stuff online in comments. It's engaging with local and regional political figures to, hey, we voted for you. You have to stand up for what we want, Right. And me and I reaching out to Darren Soto a couple times. He's the representative here in my district, and I'm sure there's a site online, just like they did with the infrastructure bill. We can do that with the XRP community in this Ripple case. So I think that's important. And to what Brad is saying, you can tell that his lawyers have been in his ears, like, hey, be very careful what you're saying. But I think we're gonna see one day we're gonna see what the real optics are behind all of this, and things are gonna come to light, whether it's now or a couple years in the future. But the truth will come out.
Yeah, it always does. The truth, what do they say? The lie goes around the world 3 times before the truth gets started, something like that along those lines. And what I will say, Coco, look at this Coco Jumbo. Appreciate that super sticker. Thank you very much for the support. Well, one thing that I know I picked up on as well, Alex, that was well said, but one of the things I picked up on is that Brad Garlinghouse is forever the optimist. Like, he's never going to show his hand, right? He's always going to be like, look, I know we're going to get to a good place. I know we're going to get to that place where it's going to work out. But again, you don't want to be a guy that's going to go on a TV broadcast and go like, man, the whole thing's just effed, man. It's like, you're not going to do that. But I love the way he did that. And it was really great to hear John Deaton's voice be mentioned there. He's like 45,000, not a small number, right? It started out as 4,000 and then 8,000. And then it really started getting cranked up. I know Crypto Eddie was promoting it, and it was like flying up. Who knows? Could be over 50. But if you think about it, you're talking about hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people potentially out there that are holders or own some XRP. I mean, 45,000, we're just getting started the way I look at it, right?
Yeah, I see that number multiplying. I think there's some fear with people, hey, if I put my information on there, can the SEC see my name? From what I've seen from John Deaton, that is not the case. They won't get your information.
Right.
So, putting your name on there, fighting a good fight against the SEC. If you haven't signed up for that, sign up. I signed up. My mom has XRP. She signed up.
Oh, I gotta get my dad to sign up.
Yeah. So everybody that that has a little bit of XRP or a lot or some sort of involvement with XRP, have them fill that out. We need their strength in numbers, and the numbers will show. The court has already, heard our voice with wanting to be involved in this case. So, let's support John Deaton and the cause.
Got it. Brother in the building, all the way from Japan, Alberta, the truth. I like to see that, man. Nice. Yeah. Very good. Yeah, and I do think that, sometimes people are fearful of like maybe blowback, but I think Deaton put a tweet out that I saw, maybe it was like last week, but he said no, because someone asked him about the privacy issue. He goes, no, I'm not. Look, these are people in number. We're not sharing names unless, and I think if he did, he said something to the point of if he did, he would certainly let people know about it. But, I think where we're at right now, it's like at this point, 45,000 people, you need an army to chase them down, right? I mean, I think that's why our buddy Daddy G Gensler is asking for more enforcement. He's like, we need more cops on the beat. We need more enforcement, man. We need some leg breakers. We need batons. We need to hit them between the, right on the knee where they buckle, and we can take them all down. I know that sounds a little bit funny, but it is. It's kind of like what it is. I mean, it's hang on a second. Let me get this other something else going on here. Let me throw this other one. Let's see. Here we go. Boom. Look at that right there. Crypto. What the hell? James Malpass? Whoa. What is going on, man? He's coming out of hibernation. James, I have not seen you in the longest time, brother. It is good to see your face, even if it's on. That is an OG who's been on this show multiple times. And you talk about going back. He's one of the originals. And when he was streaming, it was badass, man. And that's like he was one of these guys who just get on and just go some truth telling. But that's Crypto Nation News, better known as James Malpass. Thank you for that, James. Really appreciate that, man. Good to see you, man. Brad's a classy dude. Yeah, Jeff Beat says he's a classy dude. He exudes class, right? I mean, think about it, Alex. I mean, he's kind of a guy as a leader. Now, I've heard two sides of the story. I've heard people say, well, I don't know, man. After this lawsuit, maybe he won't be around anymore. My take is he seems to be doing a pretty decent job. What's your take on how he's handled this lawsuit and carried the company and how he's done so far?
So I love Brad. He's an awesome person. I've been following him since a couple of years now. When he dropped the lawsuit, when he dropped the tweet about the lawsuit, I was walking my dog and with my family, and I got really upset. And I'm like, all right. So I looked into it. I'm like, all right, is this guy a crook or is this guy for real? Like what's going on? And the way he's expressed himself throughout, all the BS from all the other crypto communities and everybody talking down on XRP and what Ripple's doing. the way he's handled himself is a true show of character and class. I think he's a great leader. And things that I've heard about him, people that have interacted with him, I think he's a great leader. He's a hilarious guy from what I hear. But what he's doing and the way he's going on and you know, charge, he's that leader that's, you know, keep pressing forward no matter what's going on. Because you got some people that, you know, first sign of adversity and they like cower or they freak out. I've seen it overseas and it's like, all right, you know, this guy's there. He's still going on the TV interviews. He's still talking and he's still calling out. He's still throwing his shots. I like it. He's being petty sometimes and I like it.
Yeah, that's really well said. You know, here's the other thing too, but he's producing results. Like they released the previous quarter, and every quarter since, like, you know, since even during the so-called, you know, the lockdowns and all that stuff, right? He was consistent in beating the previous quarter. So, you know, you can say what you want, but he's producing results. And I think he's a great representative. I think Chris Larson too. Chris Larson's a little bit more soft-spoken. He's not quite the he's not like up in front or in your face or anything like that, but he's just like, he's kind of the statesman. He like lays back. And then of course, if you want to see spitting truth, that's David Schwartz, who a lot of people say that he might be Satoshi. I don't know. I mean, he could potentially be. He's certainly got the wherewithal up there. I don't know. Did you ever entertain that thought? It could be.
This is my opinion, and none of this is my opinion.
We're prefacing it with my opinion. It sounds like what you're about, like the SEC when they get up and they go like, "Oh, this is my opinion," and then
This is not opinion of my fellow commissioners. This is my opinion.
Okay, good. Go ahead, carry on.
David Schwartz is Satoshi Nakamoto. David Schwartz is the bearable guy, the Yuba guy, whatever it is, Mr. Pool, Ripple Riddler. I think him and the team of people from Ripple just like to have fun and BS and I strongly think that David is Satoshi Nakamoto and the bearable guy.
Wow, both at the same time. That's pretty impressive, man. The bearable guy is a credible invention. If you guys don't know about that, it's you look up bearable guy 1, 2, 3. Adorable little bear with some pointy teeth that he likes to point to. And I'm like, you know what? I used to tell people early days the only reason I ever invested in XRP was because it had like, you know, like a whole sort of a club. You had like the bearable guy, it had a cool little bear. I mean, who else has a bear and a Riddler? No else. None of the projects have that. Let's be honest.
Oh man, I went down. I'm not gonna lie. Back in 2018, I was overseas and I went down the bearable guy rabbit hole for a good month.
I loved it, man, and I can get enough of it. It was so fantastic. Look at this. What is going on here? Man, boom. He is throwing fire tonight. What's up? Crypto Nation News. Another super sticker. You know, I hate that on this program we can't see what the super stickers are. Maybe like a whole flying guy or dancing guy. Can you see what it is?
Let me check. Yeah, it's
what do we have there?
Sort of pink and black. I don't know. Transformer type of thing.
Transformers. That's very good. Very good, man. Look at this. I don't know. It says Dave is not BG123. And I think, by the way, I think James is in the know here. He actually does know who that is. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, there is something going on there. But anyway, listen, I'm going to, guys, if you guys think that, if you guys were tolerable to sit through that first clip, and again, apologies with the volume, it's just super low. What I'll do is play it. You guys will have to boost the sound on your side. When it ends, I'll give you a little pause, and then you can lower it again. That way, when we come back on, we're not going to blow your eardrums out. So I'd like to play the second clip because Brad does get into some things, and unfortunately, there's no way to turn it up here. So let's just listen in, and I'll be quiet here. Here we go. Black Betty, chill. Black Betty's all well ready to get riled up over there.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Let's go. Let's listen.
They fight for disclosures. They fight for clarity. But then when we ask the SEC to provide disclosures and clarity, you see these things happening. You're like, wait a minute, shouldn't you know, what were those meetings? What was the substance and why? And look, what we seek more than anything is clarity and certainty. We think the SEC should play by the same rules around disclosures and clarity that we try to.
Liz, as you know, we're on the verge of getting a Bitcoin ETF.
Yeah, so here we go. That's a shorter clip right there, but he's kind of right. What is he saying there? He's saying we have to play by the same rules of disclosure, right? And he's go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, please. We can't have that here. So what he's getting into is the whole idea is like they've been notifying the SEC forever and a day. Hey, by the way, we're gonna give millions to MoneyGram. You know they're gonna sell it on the secondary market. It's gonna be in the form of XRP, okay, SEC? And they're like, yeah, okay, whatever. Nothing about, hey man, that could be a security you got going on there. Nothing. They know that they're gonna, as soon as it's given to them, they're gonna sell it in the secondary market. They're gonna use the money, right? They're gonna use whatever they and allocate the way. What did you take out of that clip right there? What a little bit Brad was saying.
I think he's throwing, like I said earlier, he throws his little shots, his little pettiness, and I love it. It is true though. I mean, the SEC, why is ETH and Bitcoin? Why are they out and about right now getting Bitcoin ETFs and whatnot? Where did that come from? I want to see that. Like, we're the American people. We should be able to see that. Where did you come up with that? And now it's in the court's hands. Brad's 100% correct. Brad's 100% correct. Like, everybody in this country is equal. So, let's be equal.
Let's be equal. If you guys are just joining us, we have joining tonight is Coining 203. Alex, that's what we know his first name. And look at this, we got Notorious here. What kind of super sticker is that, if you can see that one? But that's Notorious. If you guys don't know Notorious, please go follow him, man. He puts out some of the badass videos you've ever seen. Narratives, tell a story, music, sound, the whole, vocals, everything, man. I always think like, man, how long would it take me to attempt to put together one of those videos? And he cranks them out like there's no tomorrow. So, just looking at what some people are saying in the chat here. Look at this right here. So Jim D saying, I'm concerned about Jed McCaleb's suddenly putting his XRP wallet dump on hold. I don't trust him. He's been in an extortive position with insider info. Huh.
So good old Jed McCaleb. Why hasn't he been subpoenaed or questioned or anything like that?
How do we know he hasn't though? How do you know he's not the guy spilling some of the juice?
I gotcha. He could be the nice CI that's in the mix, but why did he stop? What does he know? Who is this guy? Why? I don't trust him. I think he's a snake.
Listen, I don't have an opinion either way. I do think that if we're gonna break it down, right? So you look at Mt. Gox, right? Mm-hmm. He's the only one out of that whole group that didn't do time, that didn't get indicted, that didn't go to prison. The only one. Okay, so that's interesting, right? Now he goes and creates this partnership and becomes part of Ripple, and then they have some kind of falling out. We've heard all kinds of things. I'm still waiting for the real thing, but apparently he wanted to be more. He had a different idea what XRP should be. Basically, forex it, and then he goes off and he starts the Stellar Foundation, which is XLM, and here we are now today. But when he was dumping it and selling it, and he was an original founder, how come because Garlinghouse came to the scene in 2015. It wasn't early days. Chris Larson, we go back to 2012, 2013, you got Chris Larson, you have Brito, you have David Schwartz, and you have Jed McCaleb, right? The original original riders. But yet they went after Garlinghouse. Okay, fair enough. He's the CEO, but they went after him, man, and they went after Larson. But oddly enough, they didn't go after Jed McCaleb, who also owns a crap ton, of XRP. And Ripple at some point had to take him to court because he was trying to just blow it all out and say, whoa. You cannot just to be disruptive to the market like that. You're only allowed to sell. And then the judge approved it. And that's what he's been doing, selling bags. So he doesn't really, do you really want anything to do if you're selling those kind of bags, Alex? Do you really want to go show up at a job and like, oh man, I got to do something every day? I don't know.
No.
I don't think I do. I don't think I want the hassle, with life. It's like you sell your bags. What are you doing with it, man? You put it into something else. There you go right there, Black Betty.
That's what happened.
Put in a Black Betty and you work on that all day. Sure, man. Sure enough. Enough.
Also to that is why haven't they questioned Arthur Brito? What happened? He was, who is this mysterious Arthur Britto guy?
Arthur Britto is like elusive. He's like a cat. He's like a feline or something. It's like nobody has a picture of him. No one's ever seen him. But yet people tell great stories about him. David Schwartz has talked about him before. A lot of people have met him, but he does protect his privacy. Like you can't find a Twitter account for the guy. You can't find a photo of him anywhere.
I don't think he exists.
Well, I have heard from the sources he is a real person.
Okay.
I have heard he's a real person. He is a real person that protects his identity pretty heavily. But, from people in the know, but again, he does protect his identity. He's elusive, man. I would, if I didn't know better and I didn't have a trusted source like that, I might agree with you and say, dude, that sounds a little bit suspicious. How does a guy get away? You're at a party. You're like walking by. I mean, they even got like Bigfoot, he's like got that pose.
Yeah.
He's kind of that blurry photo. I saw a cool meme the other day of the Loch Ness Monster, and he's kind of changed a little bit now. He was holding a Glock. He's now the Loch Ness Monster. So he goes, when they're on your trail, man, he goes, you gotta be the Loch Ness Monster. He's holding a big old Glock up there. But by the way, somebody just filmed the Loch Ness Monster over a drone shot, and you can see the whole body with the big long neck, kind of like what they thought, swimming up by like close to the shore of the lake. And they didn't notice it till much after.
Really?
I sent it to my dad. My dad's like, I don't see it. I'm like, the guy circles it, and then you see, he goes, I don't see it. I'm like, well, I'll have to find it and send it to you. But
yeah, definitely.
But we'll have to look at that, and we'll have to get to a space on that. I want to throw this up here, but again, I love the other thing that was said in that interview was much thanks to Charlie Gasperino on Fox Business News. Because you got to remember, man, people sitting around watching a business show, they don't know what XRP and Ripple, they don't know any of this stuff, Alex, right? So when they start hearing about this, like, oh, what's this all about? Huh? Hold up, what is this? What are we talking about? And so he's really gotten this out to a whole new audience. And Garlinghouse said, thanks a large part to your reporting, senators, people in the House, Congress, they're watching this stuff. And he also talked about the fact that because we, the people, had an effect, and we shut that bill down for 3 days because they tried to insert the little crypto thing, and some senators got 40,000 calls inbound. Now that means that millions of people are represented. Everyone calls, letters, emails, they got blown up. And that's why that thing stalled for 3 days, because they started, we put them on notice. I mean, we basically said, hey.
Yeah, but I watched that vote, and it was the guy from Alabama that denied it, or whatever it was. And I have my theories behind that. He's like, I'm not going to vote yes unless I get funding from my government contracts. And I'm like, man.
It was like another backroom deal. And I was like, did he just say the quiet part out loud? Yes, he did.
Yeah,
I was like,
yes, he did.
I'm not. He goes, I'm available for sale if you're willing to pay the price. But I wanted to show this Gasperino tweet right here. He was talking about this earlier in an exclusive interview with Garlinghouse. The Ripple CEO tells Fox Business that the meetings between Gary Gensler and Jay Clayton before XRP case was bad optics, and he won't settle the case if the price of XRP being a security. And that's right. That's one of the things he's always said. He said early days that last year, 2020, right after the case was filed, he said, we tried to settle. Like, why wouldn't you try to settle? We tried, because they've been doing discovery for years, right? This wasn't, and this is where I got to be honest, Alex, I don't subscribe to the fact people are like, Clayton on the way out the door. Listen, put a case like this together. Discovery went back a couple years.
Yeah.
It's not something you could put together a 75-page document. Okay, it's a little bit thin, but that takes a little time to do, no?
Yeah, so and now is when we're finding out more as the case evolves, right? We're finding out the 2018 meetings, 2019, the 2020 meetings. So they knew, and I'm sure they tried to settle, but I think the cause of them not settling was they would not give clarity on XRP. And I commend Brad actually for not settling without that, because then it would have really looked bad. Like, okay, we got a slap on the wrist. We did something bad maybe, and we're good, but XRP is still messed up. So he's still in the trenches. He's still in the trenches. Ripple's still in the trenches, and I like that.
Yeah, I agree with that. And so this was another shot. This is Eleanor Terrett. She works really closely with Charlie, and she does a great breakdown podcast herself, where they talk about like the events of the week, and they really talk about this case quite a bit. So I have to give her big props for doing that. Yeah. And there the three of them are right there. So you got Eleanor on the left there, you've got Brad looking oh so dapper, and you got Charlie giving a big old thumbs up, like, hey man, I'm here hanging with Garlinghouse. I'm gonna get a nice exclusive here, which is pretty awesome, right? So to see the three of them there, and it just basically says, great catching up with Brad Garlinghouse of Ripple this morning. Full interview will be up on Fox Business website shortly. And we're still waiting for that because is it up yet, Alex? Can you check? Is it up?
Let me check. I'll check real quick, but it's not.
Check shortly. Well, when was this tweet put out? Because I want to see. Let's see. When did Eleanor put this tweet out? Oh, 5:30. Okay, it might actually be up now. It possibly could be up. If you find that, if you happen to find that, let me know. And something we talked about last night, which I loved. To show, and we'll kind of like repeat this thing, but this was last night. Somebody named the Cryptoonz, was in like a crypto cartoon, Cryptoonz. Check out my latest Cryptoonz NFT on OpenSea, and this is fantastic. So on the left side there, you got Gary Gensler, Jay Clayton, and you got Bill Hinman, and on the right side you got Chris Larson. You got David Schwartz, and there he is. Boom. Oh, Brad Garlinghouse right there. So, and then in the background, you got Magistrate Judge Sarah Nepern getting the gavel ready to smash a couple hands in there. But this is just what a fantastic piece of artwork right there. So, anything on Fox Business or no?
Nah, nothing's up yet. I'll check. I'll keep checking throughout the night. But do you think Judge Nepern watches, like crypto XRP YouTube?
I don't know if she watches it, but I got to tell you, she really was educated. Like, Judge Torres, Judge Nepern, it's like they ask really intelligent questions. Like, why do you need this? Why about that? And how about this? Talks about decentralization. So I've pretty much been privy to most all the hearings, either listened to them, re-listened to them, read about them. But I have to say, both of them are incredible. When it comes to, they know more about it than I think maybe even the attorneys do in some cases, because the questioning she asks, and either one of them are not taking any bull. They're not taking anything. Yeah. It's a federal case.
And if you're watching tonight, Your Honor, good evening. How you doing? XRP's not a security.
It's not a security. Be sure to get that in, Alex. He's like, it's not a security, man. It's not
a security.
Of course it's not a security. There's no way in hell it's a security. I mean, well, so then I want to throw this one up too. This one, JV from the OTC family put this in. Actually, I want to play this. This is probably a clip that I could probably play, and I think the sound on this one is okay. Let's see here. I missed this one. Here we go. But this is our pal Lubin. The one that seems to be carving all the sweetheart deals and making all the things. What's your opinion about all the stuff that's coming out on crypto Twitter about him?
I think he needs to be part of a deposition or something like that. I think he needs to be talked to under oath.
Oh, what kind of questions would you ask him?
I'm not a lawyer. I'd ask him some wild stuff like, "Hey, bro, how do you know Clayton? How do you know Clayton and Hinman? Straight up, have you ever talked to them personally, like on the phone after hours or something like that?"
Oh, he's met with them in person. They've had meetings together. I mean, man, it's not like we don't know that. That's sort of copped to that already. I mean, it's not like we don't know that. But I wanted to put this up. First, let me go by showing the tweet that Jay put up. And then we'll go down from there. And let's go ahead and let's show this. What happened to it?
Let me see if I can keep finding that Fox Business.
Yeah, see if you can find that. But I'm going to go ahead and look for this thing. But I had it up on the screen. And then, this is part of the thing with Twitter. All right, let me show this. Here we go. It's just loading up there. Yeah, here we go. So this is kind of funny. This kind of sparked a couple things too. But JV put this up. Closing statements from the Honorable Joe Lubin. LOL, right? so And of course, he tagged us on it. We're going to listen to this in a little bit, but there he is talking. We'll get into that. But Mark Phillips, who will be here tonight in the guest host seat, said, I just threw up in my mouth. Lubin and the whole ETH mafia are disgusting. Just as appalling as that is the unfair monopoly creation is now known as the most media, industry groups, and members of Congress are studiously ignoring this travesty. Shame on them all. Man, Mark is mad, man. He's going to be all fire and he's going to be spitting fire tomorrow night.
I'm looking forward to that tomorrow.
He's going to be spitting fire. And look at Gary Gensler's, by definition, ETH is a security. Are they still building it? Yes, they are. Need ETH 2.0 to try. And I said try to design out the existing problems. I'm being very, very slow. And high gas fees and very expensive.
Yeah.
And then there's just a whole bunch of things in here from this. And then, of course, I tweeted translation, and I'll get into my investment in ETH is safe because it was determined in today's ETH is sufficiently decentralized, right? The SEC successful at taking down bad projects. So, and then somebody else had thrown in something about, I'd said that's sarcastic, right, Jay? Because of course it is, but I'm like, that's for the benefit of everybody else. Come on, man. You put an LOL in there. The honorable. And someone said that might be the only time you'll see Lubin and honorable appear in the same sentence together.
That guy, man. That guy. Oh, man. He knows what he did. Karma, man. Karma.
You know what you did last summer.
Karma. I believe in karma.
You know what they say? Karma's a bitch, right? That's what they say.
And yep.
And then John Lennon said, if instant karma is not going to get you, I'm going to get you. So it's like there's always a couple things. But let's listen to this, guys, and let's see if hopefully the audio is a little bit better.
Right. And to see law in action or regulation in action. I mean, are there any surprises to you even today, or now do you feel more or less comfortable with the pace and what you've seen?
So it's moved slowly in this country, but there hasn't been much harm done. We feel that the SEC has done what it needs to do to take down some bad projects, but it's also it seemed to.
Wait a minute. Let's stop right there, Alex. The SEC has done what it's supposed to do to take down bad projects.
There's no harm. No harm has been done. Is that he said that also, right?
He said that out loud. Yeah, he said that really bright and loud. He said no harm has been done. No market cap was erased. No investors were hurt. So yeah, I mean, and he's saying this with a straight face, which is interesting. Like, because he believes it. At least I think he believes it. All right, let's listen to the rest of this.
To operate with a cadence of stop this fraudulent thing from happening, say something positive about Bitcoin, stop this other fraudulent thing from happening, and also indicate that it believes that Ether is sufficiently decentralized and therefore an economy. The most important thing for the US to do right now is to not engage in knee-jerk reactions. They can make for bad policy. We need to act and not react. And the people in our ecosystem are organizing increasingly to help educate and to collaborate.
Well, thank you.
Well, so Alex, let's sort of like workshop this one, right? So he talks about take down a bad project over here. Talk about how great Bitcoin is over here. Take down another bad project over here. Talk about ETH and how it's decentralized today. What is he getting at? I mean, he's dropping these like bombs. It's almost like that's the speech he had to say. You got to weave that in somewhere.
I think again, to keep the coordination and the consistency between what Gensler is saying and Hinman has been saying and Clayton has been saying, he truly believes that there is clarity in the market. He truly believes that the SEC has done a good job.
He does
have it. He truly believes that Clayton got it right, and he truly believes that what Gensler is doing now is the right thing to do. He's the guy that when Gensler is on TV and something, he's saying, "Well, there is clarity in the market." He's the guy that believes that.
Yeah. Well, that goes back to what Garlinghouse said. So if you think about what Garlinghouse said, he said there's a little bit of a conflict here because you've got on one hand Gensler's saying it's so clear. It's so crystal clear. My God, it's an investment contract, making money on the promise of other people's efforts. It's so clear. By the way, we have to get Congress to figure this out and provide clarity. It is like, well, which is it, right?
I mean, come on, guy, left or right, or is it left or is it right, or is it both? Come on, man. Like you gotta.
He's putting both sides of it, man. He's like, he's sticking to the narrative. And the one thing that got me the most, and Jeff and I were here, we were looking at this, and one of the things that drove me crazy was he was point blank asked by one of, I think it was, it might have been it's either Warren Davidson or it might have been Tom Emmer. They were asking him, did you read Hester Peirce's? Did you read it? He's like, well, we talk all the time. Did you read it? We've often talked. I mean, he can't answer yes or no if he's read it. I mean, are you going to be that? I mean, even one of the other commissioners that came out against it read it, Alex.
So I think, if I'm not mistaken, Tony from Thinking Crypto, when he interviewed Hester Peirce the other day, he asked her that. And I don't remember clearly what the answer was, but I do remember him for a fact asking her that.
Well, I remember. Yeah. So I think she might have played it. I'm trying to remember that too. Because I watched the whole interview and stuff. But I do know that James Rule, who was at the Bitcoin conference in Austin, Texas, about 2 weeks ago, he went up to her and asked her. Turns out she didn't read it. He didn't read it. And James, if you're still in the chat, back it up there. But I'm pretty sure he had stated that he hadn't read it. And I'm not surprised. And, we talked a little bit about one of the other commissioners coming out against it. And, Commissioner Peirce handled herself well by saying, well, that's good. I'm glad she's at least talking about it. But she came out against it. And I'm thinking, well, at least she read it. Gary G, Daddy G, we don't know if he's read it. We don't know anything what's going on with him.
Nah, I mean, that makes sense now. That makes sense, his answer to Emmer now. Yeah,
it makes a lot of sense. He didn't want to commit one way or the other, because if he says yes, then there's a whole bunch of questions hammering about, well, what do you think about, the safe harbor, the 3 years and everything else like that. And I guess it makes an awful lot of sense for one thing, but I have to tell you, I don't know what's going on in New York right now, but I have to tell you, the AG, the Attorney General over in New York, is not making a lot of friends. And she's absolutely, just like everything that's happening in New York, is going after crypto. So that I find this to be a little bit daunting, what's happening. Look at this right here. So here we go. New York Attorney General, unregistered crypto lenders must shut down. The New York Attorney General's office today announced additional investigations into unregistered crypto lending and borrowing platforms. And so who's on the hit list? Well, this is Letitia James said today she ordered 2 unregistered crypto lending platforms in the state to cease all operations while demanding that 3 others hand over information about their operations. Cryptocurrency platforms must follow the law just like everyone else. Yeah, what is the law? That's what I want to know, Alex. What, is it clearly defined?
Well, I mean, when I think New York's a little different. New York has that license that they have to get. And this, a lot of people are not gonna like this, but I kind of agree with that. The unregistered crypto lending platforms, like I don't want people to get wrecked. Like people should. Unfortunately, there's a lot of gullible people in the space that send crypto here and I'll send you crypto back. They fall for that. So I don't know the context. I don't know which exchanges they were, but
I do.
If they're doing something shady, they should definitely be brought down. But
so here's how we learned who it is. So New York Attorney General did not name the crypto lenders in the release, and the names of the company were redacted in the accompanying letters. However, one of the letters bears the file name Nexo letter. The other one is called Celsius letter. So when we had Alex Mashinsky's been on the chain 3 times. When Alex was on here, one of the things that I marveled at, the first time we had him on here, was the very first thing he did was he made sure that they were compliant, and he made sure he complied with all of New York State rules. And he went out there and they got the right regulation body and they did everything from square one. They did it right, which has me a little bit miffed at this whole thing. So they're basically suggesting the Nexo and Celsius network are 2 of the companies being targeted. Now, you could throw off people by naming it Celsius letter. It sounds pretty plausible.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. I mean, come on, it's a little bit.
All right, well, Nexo and Celsius, they're solid. So I don't know why they're going after them.
Right, and I mean, in Mashinsky, like I said, one of the things he was all by the book, you know. And but you got to look at they're in Tel Aviv, they're over in I believe Switzerland as well. They're setting up office here in Florida, just north of us, over in Tampa there. So it'll be interesting to see that. It said representative for Celsius did not immediately respond to Decrypt's request for comment. Spokesperson for Nexo did tell Decrypt Nexo is not offering its earned product in exchange in New York. So it makes little sense to be receiving a cease and desist for something we're not offering in New York anyway. But we will engage with the New York Attorney General, and this is clear. It's a case of mixing up the letters recipients. We use IP-based geo-blocking. Okay, that's a solid answer, man.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, those two platforms are solid. So,
and you know, the whole thing, like New York AG said that these platforms offer interest-bearing accounts and such fall into the category of securities, according to New York's Martin Act. Okay, so that goes back to what you were saying, is that New York has its own. But if we pull up that Martin Act from 1921, does it say that crypto lending products?
it does the oranges and the groves and Howie in the Hills say orange product?
I mean,
so that's
what?
the thing. We're basing off. It's 100-year-old law. It's 100 years. Like come on, and like a lot of our congressmen, they predate the internet and the phone and stuff like that. So,
we got to look up this Martin Act, man.
Yeah.
It's probably some kind of BS, but both BlockFi and Celsius, two popular crypto lending and borrowing services, have both borne the brunt of recent regulatory crackdowns. Kentucky's financial regulator barred Celsius last month from soliciting or selling the firm's interest accounts in the state. Regulators in the state claim Celsius interest accounts or security products must be registered as such. Also, New Jersey and Alabama have also filed cease and desist against Celsius. Texas State Securities Board also ordered Celsius to appear for administrative hearing in February next year. This one surprised me, Alex, just knowing what all the good positive things around Bitcoin, especially all the mining that's relocated to Texas. This one kind of shocked me a little bit. Does that seem a little bit out of like left field for you, or does it seem?
No, it seems normal, because so what it is how much percentage could you get on Celsius on XRP? What's the percentage?
They stopped XRP. Well,
Bitcoin.
You can do XRP, but you get it in another token. I don't know what Bitcoin is, but I know that if you pull it up, it's somewhere. Some of the better ones are like north of 10%.
Okay, so we're talking 10%, right? You're getting 10% interest on your account. How much do you get with the normal U.S. bank?
I think you have to pay the bank.
So exactly. So these platforms are a threat to the banking. Go ahead, say the word. The banking cartel. It's a threat to the existing the fees, the money that they're going to produce from all of this, from all the accounts. So of course they want to get it taken out. They have all these lobbyists. You know, Chase. How many lobbyists does Chase have, or Bank of America? That Celsius is a threat to them, so they want to take them out.
And they don't want. Listen, they don't want the average Joe or Jane on the street. Like, come on, man, you can't be earning this kind of interest on your. If you go to the homepage right here, paid up to 17%, paid every week, and it depends on what you are, but you can see right there, 3,000 Bitcoin, you're gonna earn up to 6.2%. Depending on what you have. If you have ETH, that's around 5.5%.
Now pull up Chase. Pull up Chase Bank, a savings account at Chase Bank. How much are they paying?
Chase Bank.
Seriously, Chase savings account.
What we got here? Chase savings account. Let's see. Oh, compare and apply today. Joy. Let's see what we got going on here.
Let's compare interest rates. There you go. Click that.
They're by the way, they're hidden. Okay.
They're hidden, of course.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. I'll give you one. All right.
That's what we got. Oh, there you go.
That's why they're getting shut down. That's exactly why they're getting shut down.
Look at that. And then it's all hidden because you got to jump in there and see. Let me see. I'm going to go to my, let's see. Go to my one where I grew up. See what that is. What is the point of putting your zip code in? They're all 0.01.
Try this one. 06902.
0609092.
No, 06902.
902. Got it. Let's see what we got here. I was thinking you might get 5. No, it's 0.01. No, so they're hiding all this stuff behind these little. This is kind of like misguided here. Look, see interest rates. Click here. Put a zip code in. Do this. Do that. So look at this. We have KQ over here. It says, thank you for that. He goes, I live in New York, and they had to go to catacombs to pull the stone tablets like Moses to enunciate their crypto commitments. Oh, that's funny as hell, man.
Oh man,
Like,
and
dig through the catacombs, pull up the stone tabs.
So, I if you go back to a couple weeks ago with Gary, your daddy,
Daddy G Gensler.
when he posted the video where start saving now, and by the time you're 60, that's exactly right.
He says you can get up to 8%. Where, dude?
Mm-hmm.
And he, he's worth about $120 million. And they did give it up the other day where they, I think Charles Gasperino had sort of uncovered the fact that he was kind of pining for the treasury gig. Like it's all about a power thing, right? That's what it comes down to. It's all a power play there. Old Daddy G is looking for like the big power play to sort of get famous. I don't know. I don't really see why he wants to continue to go for it, but yeah. Who knows? Yeah. So we got so this is another one kind of in the line of Lubin, but here we go. It seems like, isn't it funny? Like the narrative starts coming out. You got like, well, the crypto wasn't harmed and the SEC did all things right and everything was perfect. But check out this article right here. Let's look at this. You got this right here. Here's Mike Novagratz, of course. We know that Mike Novagratz was the investor in ETH who was publicly thanked for saving the organization. That's what Vitalik Buterin said. It wasn't for his investment, probably would have sunk the organization. Look at that headline. Novagratz claims Ripple's SEC lawsuit hasn't affected XRP. Come on, Alex, right?
So this guy.
Uh-oh, here we go.
This guy, man, keep scrolling down. What does the article say?
Let's see. There he is, right there.
This guy, man.
Hey, if you mess with my family, I'm coming after you.
Yeah, this guy.
So here we go, right here. There it is, right there. So Deaton had, look at this. So Deaton threw out this tweet here, and he said, "Excellent job." This was the one where they had the Charlie Gasperino said, "Great New York Post graphics department." They had Gensler sitting across from Clayton with their little Bitcoin stash in front of them. And Deaton says, excellent job. And Novagratz says the value of XRP has actually almost tripled since the SEC's actions. It hasn't plummeted. It's a testament to the fact that once communities are formed with shared interests, they're all damn resilient. I'm telling you, man.
So no, I'm not going to allow that, bro. Like this guy has, if I'm not mistaken, a couple months ago, he's talking shit about the XRP and the XRP community. And now that he sees that it's actually about to do something, you want to come and, it was damn resilient. Get out of my face, bro.
It sounds a little bit disingenuous. Like, here you go.
Shit,
there you go. You nailed it, Alex, right there. Novagratz, who's been very critical of XRP in the past, now he's all like sunshine and rainbows and, everything's, fantastic. Believes that his highlights how resilient in cryptocurrency communities can be. Okay, fair enough, but it sounds so disingenuous, though.
He's a vulture, man. He's a culture vulture, bro.
Vulture.
He's a culture vulture, bro.
So it's not all unicorns and sunshine. So he goes, in a follow-up tweet, he went on to mention GameStop, the company whose stock was pushed to high heaven by an army of retail traders from Reddit in early 2021 as a meme crypto Dogecoin in order to prove his point. While XRP initially plunged over 60% following the SEC lawsuit of slew of trading. Wait, put the brakes on.
Go back. Doesn't the article say that it didn't? The lawsuit didn't affect the price?
Well, that's what Novagratz said right there. It's a test. He said it almost tripled since the SEC's action. It hasn't plummeted. Well, yes, it has. Oh, I didn't mean to click on that. I was going to the tweet. I didn't mean to do that, but anyway, yeah, it absolutely has. And 60%, it plunged over 60% following the SEC lawsuit. Don't you remember how many people felt hurt? They were like, oh no, the SEC's coming after them. A lot of people sold their bags on the downtrend. I mean, that's what I really feel bad about. How about those people that put everything they had into it, and then they just got nervous and sold out, and they listened to all the FUD on the internet.
So I posted this tweet a couple months ago, actually in December. Somebody that I got into XRP in 2017. XRP was sub penny. This guy had a 7-figure amount of XRP. And 2 days after the lawsuit, calls me. He said he sold all his XRP. And I posted the picture up on my Twitter. I have to retweet it. He sold all his XRP at 34 cents.
Wow. I mean, he's still 30x his money, but still.
But still, man. And then in April, XRP was almost at $2. And this guy's like, he calls me. He's like, what did I do? I was like, told you so.
Well, you told a lot of people that. A lot of people were like, they call you when the bad times happen. Like my friends were like trying to ride it up after I've been talking about it for years. And they were buying it at when it was $1.20, $1.40, $1.50 run up. And I'm like, and then when it started going down, they started calling me saying, what's going on, bro? What are we doing? What's happening? I'm like, well, most of us are buying because it's on sale, but I don't know what you're doing. It's like, you guys, they always want to buy it on the run up. Look, Bitcoin hit 60, like, I'm in. Well, you weren't in when it was 30, when it took a big plunge to hit 29,000.
I say there's 3 types of people. There's the people that you talk to them about crypto, they look at you like you're crazy until you have no idea what you're talking about. You have the ones that will actually, buy a little because they're talking about it. They're gonna buy it. They trust you. They're gonna buy a little, and then they're just gonna call you when they see the articles, right? And then you have the ones that go down the rabbit holes, that just start, calling you with, "Hey, did you hear all this and this and this is gonna happen?" Like, yeah, guy, I know that, but thank you. Yeah.
You pretty much nailed that. It is pretty much 3, and I know all 3. I know for all 3 kinds of those people because I've been on. I still have a good buddy of mine, who thinks it's a Ponzi scheme. But then when it was on the run up, he's like calling me. He's like, "Hey man, we got to talk. We got to see about this thing. We got to see if this thing's going to work on the whole. We got to see if there's something going on here. We got to talk about this." I'm like, "You want to talk about crypto?" He's like, "I think we need to talk."
Yeah.
But on the run up, right? I was like, you weren't interested in when it was like 14 cents. I mean, okay, that's fine, fair enough. And whoa, man, what a night we're having tonight. Look at this. Rob McDermott. Hang on a second. Rob McDermott, 49. Nice. Appreciate that. Berserker, I smashed the like. Great show, guys. Thank you for the OTC community. We really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, man. Rob, I love it, man. And, we had a couple of virtual meetups, and Rob was at all of them right there, man. So it's always good to see people and meet them and hang out with them for a little bit. That was a lot of fun, too. Appreciate that, Rob. Thank you so much. And look at this right here. XRP Chevy 954 says, "My ledger is my bank." Well said.
Yeah.
I like that. Right there, Berserker, compliment him. Good job, Rob. And that rhymes, by the way. Good job, Rob. He smashed that like. He smashed that right into the a nice big old red support there. Time for another. Here we go. Apex says, "Good night, gang. Keep fighting the good fight, all." Yeah, we'll always keep fighting the good fight. Remember this. And, Alex, I think you can back me up on this, but we, the people, are the majority. We're letting them know. And you know what? Crypto's bringing us together because we are unifying, and worldwide, we are absolutely making it happen because we're not putting up with the stuff anymore. We're not happy being fiefs, the fiefdom, and, sit down and shut up and you'll get what you get. And if you're lucky, now we're done with all that. We're standing up. We're making our voices heard. What say you?
So I look at it like this. At the end of the day, good old Deontay Wilder, we're gonna go out on our shields, right? And I'm gonna go out on my shield. Either I'm gonna have millions of dollars, or I'm gonna, hey, that was a hell of a ride, but you know what? I made some great friends out of it. And what crypto has done, what XRP has done, is it brought a lot of us together. A lot of people from a lot of different walks of life. And we're gonna, with the research that's being done, everybody's putting their part and getting the information out there, and the SEC, the courts, we the people.
Damn straight. Look at this. I want to put this up and tell me if this brings us back to an earlier conversation. Let's go, Brenda and Brenda. There we go, right there. You wanted to see if you could say that on here, and I said, absolutely, you can say that. Thank you for that, Berserker. If you don't know who Brenda is, that's Janet Yellen, and that was an invention of Jeff last night. Let's go, Brenda. Let's go, Brandon. And look at this right here. How about Powell, right? So chair of the U.S. Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, reportedly sold up to $5 million worth of stock right before the stock market suffered a significant drop. Nothing to see here. Move along, everybody. It's all just one of those coincidences that happen all the time to everybody who happens to be in some position of power. Don't worry about it. Isn't that kind of how it works?
And again, I don't know if I think I talked to you about this, but that video about good old drunk, Pelosi.
Oh yeah.
You know, how is she worth $350 million? And this Powell guy and Yellen, come on, man. In Dominican Republic, politicians are known for being very corrupt and taking, you know, the little briberies. Here, man, they got them beat by a lot.
They do. They kind of pretty much, and in a great way. It's like, yeah, let's see. You did all this stuff wrong. That's cool. I just look the other way. It's going to pretend like it didn't happen. It's like, well, wait a minute. We have all this evidence. Who looks at that anyway? You know what I mean? There's a great. See, now they're suppressing it, but there's a fantastic. It's called Pelosi's trades or something like that. And what it does, it tracks all Pelosi's trades, and they're like, we're up 67% on the year. And now the powers that be want to shut that account down because they're not happy with it. And it's a lot of goofiness and just goofing on it and stuff. I understand, but I think it's done in yeah. So it was weird. I just came across this tweet of yours right here where you basically, it's kind of like right on point. I like happened to pull this up, and there it is. But you said, yeah, unfortunately, the Dominican Republic has fallen. As of today, you're not allowed in banks, courthouses, supermarkets, anywhere for that matter without proof of vax. But wait for the kicker. If you are a tourist, you're fine to do as you please.
So the way DR has it right now is
I'm going to DR, bro.
You can go to DR as a tourist. You don't know nothing. You'll be fine. You don't need to show vaccine. You don't need to show anything. You can do as you please. But somebody who's a Dominican citizen or is going to not a tourist airport, hey man, you got to show the vaccine card to go anywhere or do anything. Essentially, and this is gonna sound a little fucked up, but if you're a gringo, you're good. You can do it all.
Well, as you and I both know, we both have been through the beer flu. We've both triumphed through it, and I pulled up a study from the 1918 Spanish flu. There was a study done, I believe, in the 90s, and every person that they tested who were survivors who actually had the Spanish flu, every single one of them had the antibodies to fight the virus. So what does that tell you? Tells me that it's probably true of a lot of things, right? I don't want to get into specifics, but we'll just leave it there. It is time, Alex. Somehow an hour flew by. I don't know what happened, but we were just sitting here talking all things XRP, Ripple, blockchain, some little geopolitics thrown in there for a good measure. I want to thank everybody for being here tonight as usual. I want to thank everybody for the massive support. It really was some amazing support today, guys. Always appreciate it. And tomorrow night, we have Mark Phillips coming in to guest host, and then Jeff will be back on Wednesday. We've got a really cool guest on Wednesday. I think you guys are really going to enjoy this interview. And on Thursday, we got another OG. I just kind of tease it a little bit. We got another OG, not you OG. We got another that's coming, that's been around. You guys will know this entity, this person. You probably will know this person. And if you haven't been around the space long, you probably like, who the hell is that? That's possible. That's all very possible. But I have a feeling that a lot of people that have been around the space a while will know. And it's going to be just another fun week. Alex, thanks for coming in here, man. I really appreciate you coming in here and guest hosting. And we'll have to bring you on when Jeff's actually here. Because the last two times you helped me out with the guest host position,
Yeah,
but Jeff's like, I don't see Alex anymore, man. It's like, you bring him on when I'm not around. I'm like, yeah, well, you can bring when I'm not around, you can bring him on too. So there you go. So it's all good.
Always, man. Always good to help. It's a pleasure to spend an hour with you guys and watch the chat and speak with some like-minded people and interact, man. It's good for the soul. My wife thinks I'm crazy, but I'm not. So,
and you might be a little crazy. Just a little.
I know who's coming. It's XRP Standard Productions. He's actually. You guys want to see him? You guys want to see who he is?
Yeah. Bring him on.
Boom.
There it is, right there. Boom. So if you guys are new here, like, subscribe, click that notification bell. That way you know when we go live. And then there it is right there. Boom, boom, boom. Click. Click on that subscription bell. And we broadcast live Sunday through Thursday, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern time. And then again on Saturdays, Jeff flies solo with one of his rants, his epic rants from 8 a.m. till 9 a.m. I was almost saying 9 p.m. That's a 12-hour rant, but no, not that long exactly. But I want to give you the final words. What do you say on your way out of here, Alex?
Everyone have a good night. Keep your heads up and your crypto secure. It's gonna be a good Christmas. I just have a feeling.
Ooh, I like the sound of that, Alex. So Alex, hang around a little bit, guys. We're gonna get out of here. From Chip and Alex, we are out. See you guys on the next one. Out.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.